morning. Good morning.
Dave, first we'll start with just with Buddy Kennedy playing in there at third base. I know you had mentioned that's kind of going to be the plan for him, just splitting some time with Alex Freeland. What are you kind of looking to see from him today, and is that kind of where you see his role primarily being just at third, or do you see him other parts of the field?
Yeah, I think that getting Mickey off of his feet. He'll play the next couple of days in Denver, as will Buddy. So he'll get 3 days in a row. See him primarily playing against left. Haven't seen much of him. Here he's a good defender at third. He plays some first, some left field, some second base. So I just, Darvish is a tough matchup, certainly for a right-hander, but just have good at-bats, and then we'll go from there.
Obviously, we've already seen so many positives just from this series, but does it feel like going for the sweep, just considering how you all, whether it was the Blue Jay series when things kind of fell off in that third game, does it feel like that has to be a priority going into this game today?
Yeah, I think it's just more of the intent. I just, that Sunday game against the Blue Jays still stings me clearly. But yeah, so I think for me it's, going into today, having a chance already winning the series and having a chance to really make hay and finish these guys off. So expect Tyler to come out and set the tone. And knows our guys, we know him. There's going to be a lot of mix and match and kind of, a lot of spin using the fastball. So it's going to be a good battle today, a good fight. And that's all I want to see, and then we'll kind of deal with the results after that.
I think it's the first time this year that Will started a day game after a night game. Is that just a byproduct of matchup or anything like that? What's sort of behind him starting 3 in a row and starting a day game after a night game?
I think part of it is I think we've done a very good job of kind of building equity into him as far as the workload and being able to push him at certain times. And I think for me, in talking to him, he feels good, and so it makes sense today.
Where would that
so hold on, Jim. And then we're going into Denver, and they'll split the 4 games, him and Dalton in Denver. But I think that obviously we're playing these guys, so it makes a lot of sense.
So where would that pattern be after this then? Would you still do Dalton twice a week, or maybe cut back to once a week and get Will in there more down the stretch? Or
I don't know. That's a read and react. I think right now I'm reacting. It makes sense. Coming out of Denver, is a different deal. So I'm not going to say he's going to play all 3 next weekend. So we'll see. But I expect them both to play 2 games in Denver. We'll see how they come out.
Dave, after being swept in Anaheim and winning the first 2 games here, is there something tangible about the feel about the team after these 2 games?
I think tangible is the focus. We talked about urgency, and urgency is not overt. In my opinion, urgency is more of a focusing. And I think that if you look at the at-bats, I think that just the defense, Freddie making the play over there in that 1 inning, and, the PFPs, and I just think that there's more focus. And I think that that's obviously when you play 162, it's hard to have that exact perfect focus every game. Certainly it is with 26 players, but I just think that the last couple of nights is the type of baseball that, I expect us to play, throughout the rest of the season.
Rojas said last Saturday, he told us that this season there's been a lot of key players trying to find themselves at the plate, but he feels like this is the time of year where you start to have those team at-bats. Have you seen that in the first 2 games?
I have. And you're always you're never going to be perfect with your swing, but I think that you can always have the mindset of the team and help the team win that particular night. And I think that we're seeing more of that, and we need to continue to see that as well.
You talked about last night, Conforto might be one of those guys taking more of the team at bat instead of getting big and putting in numbers like he used to in the past. How hard is that for a guy to, hey, my numbers aren't going to look like they used to, but he's now helping the team be become that?
Yeah, you know, I think it's actually, I would say it's actually free in the sense of you're not expecting to put up a certain OPS or this or that. You're just trying to help the team win. And so, you know, my ask is to just be a better hitter, to fight, and to, you know, put together bats. And so that's pretty much in any player's control, you know, versus trying to, you know, a certain amount of homers or whatever, ribbies or this or that. So, yeah, I was hoping to free him up a little bit, but it's good to see it.
Has that kind of been like the blessing and the curse this season as a whole, is that you're in this position in a tight division race because guys have struggled on the whole, but also now because of that, it kind of gives you guys an opportunity to like find that new focus and kind of lock in a different way as you go down?
I think so. I think so. You know, we've done it where you have a big lead and then you can kind of coast or whatever, and guys are kind of trying to, you know, cement their numbers or their seasons or whatever. But now when you're in it, you've got to win baseball games, right? And so it comes with more sacrifice, and, you know, whether it's a sack here or get a guy over, a sack fly, shortening up on the bat, which you've seen, you know, winning pitches. And so, yeah, but again, I'm kind of default to that type of play all the time. That's who I was as a ball player. So I see no downside in playing that type of baseball.
Is it fair to say that just with this freeing up of things that we've been seeing in Mookie Betts, when you look at the last, 2 weeks, and just the results he's been getting, how he's carrying himself, and just the lightness you see with him?
I think so. There is a lightness. I see more of the compete and not worrying too much about the mechanics or all mechanics. You know, trying to figure out a way to help the team win. So I see that, and we've seen some good results. And so, yeah, Mookie's in a good spot.
Dave, in contrast to what you were saying about like you prefer the focus to be there all the time, do you feel like this team has kind of gone through this enough where like that's a switch that they can flip? Like, do you think that's a skill that this team has, to just try to ramp up their focus when they need to?
You know,
Sounds like no.
you don't want to. I mean, there's a wrong answer, there's a right answer, but I do think that, you know, when you intentionally try to focus and ramp up your focus, I do think that you can do that. It doesn't always provide the results, but I hate saying that there's a switch you can flip on and off.
It's just like a dangerous way to.
It's a dangerous way to live.
Kiké was hitting on the field today. Is that a big step for him?
What's that?
Kiké was.
Yeah, he's going to go out on rehab this week, so that's a big step for him. He's anxious to get going. Hyeseong will go out at some point, and as we talked about, Tanner and Kirby will go out as well. So we got guys on the come, and they'll be out this week.
Tommy getting closer to doing it?
Tommy is doing baseball activities, but, you know, time of return, it's still going to be early September for me, for Tommy.
And any more clarity on Muncy and kind of how things are going to go?
He's coming. He's in a good spot. Training staff has been working on kind of unlocking some things, and I think Monday is a day where he's going to start doing some plyo balls, some rotation, and that's kind of, with his past of the oblique, kind of, that's a good marker for him, and seeing how he responds to that.
Is it just the oblique, or does he have the thing with the rib that was a problem?
It's a little combo, so I guess it's all encompassing, I guess.
So the guys going on rehab be with OKC or?
OKC.
Okay.
Did you talk to Loki?
I haven't talked to Roki, no. But he's going to pitch, I think, later this week.
Is he at OKC? Or
He is here right now, but he'll be with OKC sometime this week.
Dave, obviously you got a lot going on the major league team. Have you seen what Kendall George is doing? Like reports of that at all? Last few weeks, days?
I know over the weeks, if you're referring to him running wild on
Yeah.
the bases, I have seen that.
What are your thoughts? I know last year he was up here, one of those sim games where you had like a nice long conversation with him. Well, what do you think like his limit is? Like
Kendall's, offensive limit. He's a bat to ball guy. He's got to get on base. He's not going to slug. He needs to hit the ball all over the field, be a tough out, and he needs to continue to get better in center field. But once he gets on the bases, he's a threat, but he's got to dominate center field.
51 steals since the start of July. Have you ever seen something like that?
There's a guy named Billy Hamilton, I can't remember, but what Kendall's doing is pretty special. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.